है बुलंद। चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग, चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग, चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग। नहीं कुछ मुश्किल कर वही हासिल, जो लक्ष्य हमने मन में ठाना है, सोच बड़ी उसे यही कुछ होना, खुद को ही अब तो हमने पहचाना है। पर्पस लाइफ का जाना, कर्तव्य एक निभाना, मन में उमंग जीतेंगे जंग ये मन के संग। चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग, चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग, चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग। पैरों पे खड़ा होना है अगर अनुभव से सीखेंगे बेहतर, चट्टानों सा विश्वास हमें हम कामयाब एंटरप्रेन्योर। चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग।
Let's explore, let's experiment, let's execute, let's enjoy. Let's explore, let's experiment, let's execute, let's enjoy.
पैरों पे खड़ा होना है अगर अनुभव से सीखेंगे बेहतर, चट्टानों सा विश्वास हमें हम कामयाब एंटरप्रेन्योर। उत्साह के रंग बन के दबंग ले मन के संग। चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग, चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग, चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग। ये सोच नहीं खुद तक सीमित, इस देश के प्रगति का है विजन। आर्थिक आजादी मिले हमें है ध्येय बड़ा हो परिवर्तन।
Let's explore, let's experiment, let's execute, let's enjoy. Let's explore, let's experiment, let's execute, let's enjoy.
ये सोच नहीं खुद तक सीमित, इस देश के प्रगति का है विजन। आर्थिक आजादी मिले हमें है ध्येय बड़ा हो परिवर्तन, मन में उमंग जीतेंगे जंग ले मन के संग। चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग, चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग। लाखों अरमान है और सपने नए, हौसले है बुलंद। चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग। हौसले है बुलंद। चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग, चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग, चल संग संग चल संग संग चल संग संग ले मन के संग। नहीं कुछ मुश्किल कर वही हासिल, जो लक्ष्य हमने मन में ठाना है, सोच बड़ी उसे यही कुछ होना, खुद को ही अब तो हमने पहचाना है। पर्पस लाइफ का जाना, कर्तव्य एक निभाना, मन में उमंग जीतेंगे जंग पे खड़ा होना है अगर अनुभव से सीखेंगे बेहतर चट्टानों सा विश्वास हमें हम कामयाब एंटरप्रेन्योर चले संग संग चले संग संग चले संग संग ले मन के संग
Let's explore, let's experiment, let's execute, let's enjoy. Let's explore, let's experiment, let's execute, let's enjoy.
पैरों पे खड़ा होना है अगर अनुभव से सीखेंगे बेहतर चट्टानों सा विश्वास हमें हम कामयाब एंटरप्रेन्योर उत्साह के रंग बन के तपन ले मन के संग ये सोच नहीं खुद तक सीमित इस देश के प्रगति का है विजन आर्थिक आजादी मिले हमें है ध्येय बड़ा हो परिवर्तन
Let's explore, let's experiment, let's execute, let's enjoy. Let's explore, let's experiment, let's execute, let's enjoy.
ये सोच नहीं खुद तक सीमित इस देश के प्रगति का है विजन आर्थिक आजादी मिले हमें है ध्येय बड़ा हो परिवर्तन मन में मन जीतेंगे जंग ले मन के संग लाखों अरमान है और सपने नए हौसले है बुलंद चले संग संग चले संग संग चले संग संग ले मन के संग लाखों अरमान है और सपने नए हौसले है बुलंद चले संग संग चले संग संग चले संग संग ले मन के संग चले संग संग चले संग संग चले संग संग ले मन के संग चले संग संग चले संग संग चले संग संग ले मन के संग नहीं कुछ मुश्किल कर वही हासिल जो लक्ष्य हमने मन में ठाना है सोच बड़ी उसे यही को छूना खुद को ही अब तो हमने पहचाना है पर्पस लाइफ का जाना कर्तव्य एक निभाना मन में उमंग जीतेंगे जंग ये मन के संग
Good evening, everyone in the Zoom room. Hi, and welcome to this program which we are doing for you today. We are expecting a lot of more people to keep joining us as we move ahead. We had received a lot of registrations for this program from 3 countries. So we have major participation coming from Bhutan, where we have around 72 participants registered. So I think they'll be joining soon. We have few participants who have also joined from Bangladesh, and We have also participants from Nepal, Pakistan, Sierra Leone, US, Thailand, Ghana, and so on. So not taking much of our time and moving on with the program, I give me a second. I'll just start sharing my screen once more. Yeah. So I'm your host for today, Saurabh Shah, and I welcome our esteemed guests who are going to be there with us. We have Mr. Deepak Menaria, we have Mr. Mukesh Ashar, and we have Mr. Dwarika Radonial. And we have participants, as I said, from Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and few more countries. So we are around 12 countries who are being here to listen to this, to what initiatives we have for you. So I have the first speaker, Dr. Dwarika Prasad Unyal. He is the founding team member of IIM Kashipur, currently a Pro Vice Chancellor of University Lemon Mentor for a long time. And I hand over to Dwarika ji. Over to you.
Yeah, I was just typing that. Please allow me to unmute myself so that I can talk. Thank you, Colonel Shah. Thank you, Lemon, and the founders, and of course, Mukesh Bhai, Kemcho, Deepak, and others. It's my pleasure and honor to be part of this particular deliberation which we are having. I thought I will be able to spend more time on it, but I have got multiple meetings, unfortunately, cropping up, but that's okay. So, it's very, very exciting time for us at Lemon, where we are really becoming truly global. And this is one cohort which is coming exclusively from SAARC countries of Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan. And we are very excited to see that there is lots and lots of action and excitement is happening across these three countries on entrepreneurship, a lot of exciting ideas. And I know that many of you are working at various stages of your startup at this point of time. And I'm sure Lemon and their team will be in a position to really provide you lots of hand-holding, product testing, go-to-market strategies, and they would be able to also handhold you to start getting into some funding, take you to some good relevant people to help you make your deck better. At the same time, provide a lot of inputs on your go-to-market strategies in your respective countries. And if you are doing global product launches, probably in other markets as well. So I have 20 minutes and I thought I will speak only about few things which in last so many years I have learned while working on the startups which I have worked. At the same time, the kind of startups I mentor, and 2-3 things which have distilled from that particular understanding through that journey of working, failing, getting up, trying hard, pivoting, trying again, probably iterating multiple times, and then probably striking gold, if at all. So what I'll do is do the 3 things with you, because I'm a brand marketing person, is to try and tell you about what is important for you to be very careful of while you do your startup. Because one of the important things in your startup journey is not what you can do, not about what you want to do. I think one of the things you need to really, really work hard on, and we have learned it very hard way, and I'll give you a couple of examples, is when to say, no, we are not doing this. Okay. I'll give an example. I work with 2 e-commerce D2C startups, platforms based out of Bangalore and in Uttarakhand. Both of them have built a community. Both of them have built a steady supply chain of organic products. Both of them have been able to get some traction. And I'll give you why we are still struggling. Okay. Despite of the fact that we have built the brand, despite the fact that we have, got funding, despite of the fact that we've got some traction in our products. The first one, we overcommitted ourselves to our partners. Let me explain. We went out to our community partners in Uttarakhand, the women entrepreneurs or the women villagers and farmers. And we told them that you don't worry about marketing. We will buy everything what you are producing. And then you leave it to us and we will market it and we'll figure it out. And we'll give you the best market price. While it was great as a promise to our community partners, we ended up overestimating the response the market will give to us in terms of consumers. So while everybody wants to buy organic products, while everybody wants to help the farmers and get the right price, the heart is in the right place for everybody. But the market realities are very different because the products are not the products you can buy every month, every week. It's honey, for example. It's tea, for example. It's millets, for example. It is ghee, for example. These are the products you're not buying every month in large quantities, especially because they are very specific. Just hold on. Sorry, my work keeps coming in between, so some call came in. Very sorry. So the first mistake we committed there, and now we are trying to sort it out, is to not to have an inventory pile up, because what ended up having is that we ended up buying a lot of inventory, and market demand is very, very erratic. So we were unable to sell it up, despite the fact that we were doing great in socials, despite of the fact that we have built the brand, the website traction was fine. But then the stage in which we were having a lot of inventory, and then the demand and the pandemic hit and all things happened, the demand slipped, but we were sitting on the inventory and we had committed our money. So our cash flow got affected. So the first and foremost is don't overcommit. We committed this mistake and we realized that it is difficult to fulfill everybody's promises. So somewhere we also have to, as startups, have to learn to say no to certain things, because opportunities will keep on coming in your way. You have to evaluate where you have to say, this is not core to me, or this is opportunity looks great, but this is not I would want to do. Second learning is don't spread yourself too thin. You're not Amazon. You cannot sell or provide all kinds of solutions to everybody in the world. So focus is very, very critical. I'll give an example. I am right now helping build a social audio platform, and you should check it out, called Menza, MENTZA. It's like Clubhouse, but an Indian Clubhouse, but very curated learning platform, right? So people come, have conversations. The idea is not to create a classroom like an edtech platform, but create corridors of learning, corridors of where conversations are happening and you're learning. So we have circles and we have channels, and I run 2 channels there called Zindagi Ka Listening Post. I do talk about people, life, their career trajectories and things like that. And second is about Kahani Mad Ad Ski, which is about old advertising revisited and the learnings from old advertising. So while before this particular talk, I was having a senior guy from the same team, and we have scaled up to 400 channels and we want to go to 1,000 channels and so on and so forth. So the critical question VCs have been asking us while we raise funds for them is, what is your USP? What is it the focus you would want to create on Menza as a platform? Yes, too many conversations are happening. Are we spreading ourselves too thin is the question we are asking ourselves. Or is it too early for us to do that? And hence, focusing yourself, your effort on a bit narrow, whether even if you are a content creator like Ankur Wariku, for example, or somebody else, for example, you need to get your story right, but a bit of focus. You can't be here, there, and everywhere. So that's a mistake a lot of people end up doing. And my learning is that somewhere you have to ask this question to yourself, that what do we stand for? What do we mean to people? I cannot be everyone, everybody to everyone. I can be a thing to someone, and my TG is there. So if you are a content creator, or if you are a B2B marketer, or if you are a B2C or a D2C, or any of the brands or any of these startups you're running in different domains, it could be in media, it could be something else. What is really needed for all of you is to focus and say, boss, can I concentrate my energies on perfecting one thing and be known for it, rather than very superficial something, right? So even if you are doing a product market thing, do go a little more deeper and specialized in a product or a service, for example, initially, like even Flipkart or Amazon. They just started with books initially. They didn't start selling pipes and laptops and everything else. They just focused initially, and then when the traction got built, and then it kept on adding the new SKUs. Don't start with a supermarket. Don't start with a hypermarket approach that you can sell everything and anything. That is huge cost and deep pockets and all those ones. So just focus on few products, do good. Like if you're doing organic from Bhutan, or you're doing something very exclusive in the handicraft in Bangladesh, for example, be known for that initially. Create attraction, create your name, create your story right. Third comes is your stories is as important or equally important as your business. So your business story is equally important as a founder, as people who are associated with you. So what is really needed for all of you is to also parallelly work on content. I was talking to somebody in Nykaa. It's a fashion company, cosmetics company for women, and also they have a men range. And they are managing digital marketing and becoming very big in India. They got an IPO. It's valued at, I don't know, I think $40 billion or something like that. And Falguni Nair has become a self-made billionaire. Very interesting journey. They have very great products. But while I was talking to the marketing team and few other set of people, I knew and was generally understanding what is happening in that space. I've got a very good learning, and the learning was that we are essentially a content company who also happen to sell products. So it's not that there I've got great, it's an FMCG company, by the way, right? They're selling a lot of, it's like L'Oreal, a lot of D2C, a lot of omni-channel retail and things like that. But they said we are so focused on creating content and building stories around the content that we also happen to sell products along with it. So I think somewhere, whether a product company creates stories or narratives around through socials and others, or you are creating a lot of content and you can monetize that kind of content. So I was talking to a content company. I said, what is it they're trying to do? You've got built a 1 lakh community people, but how are you monetizing it? So very early, yes, it is important for you to build a large traction of people if you happen to be a content company or so on and so forth. But what is also important for you to try and figure out that how would you monetize it? So either you can sell product to the same community, or what is needed is that you get the data, so you can do a dashboard and do analytics on that particular community data and sell and then make and monetize it. Or you could essentially create a hybrid model where you also have content, you also have product, and you sell it there. So what is important for all of us to learn in early in our stages here is to ask these critical questions and not pat our back all the time. For that, you need people who can critique you, people who are outsiders, people who can come to you and say, boss, maybe sometimes we get blindsided by our own success, or we get blindsided by our thesis that, okay, only this works and I know what I'm talking about. And then we don't look at, we don't seek help or mentorship or something else. I think it's very, very critical for all of us, including me in our own life, is to keep seeking people who can not always criticize us, but people who can critique us. There is a difference between criticism and critique. Critique is a real good analysis of what's good, what's right, what's working, what's not working, and probably provide you certain elements of changes here and there, and you can tweak your business model, or you can take help and build your network through the mentor. So I think programs like what is LSE doing here, and Colonel Shah and Mr. Menaria and many others have perfected this very beautifully, because I was involved with many startups, and every now and then I go to Nagpur physically, and now of course online I've been doing this, is predominantly not provide our expertise all the time, but also look at some of those things and help you strategize better, help you create a more clarity on what you're trying to do with your businesses. So nothing can be overemphasized. Then there is a term in Hindi, I don't know how many of you would understand, which says there's a whole called Nindak Nede Rakhiye. So you should always have somebody closer to you who is not your biggest fan, but can ask you objective, critical questions. It could be from the family, it could be from outside, it could be your professors, it could be your mentors, it could be fellow entrepreneurs in the same cohort. Like you have a great cohort of almost 25 people here. I think it's a great cohort to learn from each other. Bhutan people can learn a lot from Nepal. Nepal can learn a lot from Bangladesh. Bangladesh can learn a lot from India. Indians can learn from all of you there. I think this is where we are all working towards a common goal of helping become better, help each other do a better business. And that can definitely create a network effect. So please reach out to each other like you're doing on the chat. Please connect to each other on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with the LSE team on LinkedIn. And whenever you think that you're looking for something specific, like for example, some of you would want to enter an Indian market and say, okay, I'm looking for a connect in Indian supermarkets or Indian retail market or Indian big basket or e-commerce brands or whatever. Maybe in a larger network of people, we might know somebody who's a category manager. We might know somebody who is new brand vice president, private label brands or ethnic, exotic, organic brands. And they might give you an audience and say, okay, send us your profile, send us your product, send us your pricing list, send us about your supply chain, and probably you might get a go-to-market there. So what is really important for all of us is to take care of a couple of things, become a bit more narrow. We should focus a lot more about reevaluating what we're doing at each time. And what is also needed is to get your story right. And So your content building, your socials, your digital presence, your website, all of them need to work a lot more while you're working back end to get your supply chain right and everything else. And last but not the least, the first one I started with is to evaluate which opportunity to grab and which opportunity to let go. I gave you that example of Dehradun, and we realized that we were overcommitting ourselves and not being able to deliver to the promise, both for our customers as well as our community partners. And hence we are still struggling and now working harder to cut down on inventory, streamline our partnerships, letting go of some partners, letting go of the product categories which are not profitable. See, your enterprise is like your kid, but then you need to have a bit of impersonal attitude towards it, and you need to let some of those things die their natural death, or let go of certain things which are harming your startup or harming your cash flows or harming your profitability. I hope and wish that over a period of time, the program with LSE, you would be in a really much better shape, and the kind of network this platform has created. End of the day, so just Lemon is a platform where you come, you do things, and you can really add value to each other here. I will stop. I think we will have some 5 minutes of time before I go off and pass the baton to my fellow speakers from Lemon and others. Colonel Shah, if you think that is an appropriate way, if participants can ask something specific or in general, I would be more than happy. They can either unmute themselves or whichever way you would want them to do it, or they can type on chat and I could read it. And we could work it out around it. So
I think we'll take quick questions for your session. So I request people who are having some questions to put in the chat box so we can see it and just moderate it for you.
Yeah. I'm just leaving my email ID also with your permission, Colonel Shah.
Yeah, please.
People can reach out to me, and if they want to look at me on LinkedIn, probably I could just give you a LinkedIn profile as well of mine. And
I think we're not getting any questions right now. We have a session of Q&A after the second speaker speaks. So,
fair enough. So we will wait for that.
Yeah,
no worries. We'll wait for that. And if there are any questions you think could be sent across to me through email, yes, I would be more than happy. And I wish this cohort a great success. I would love to be in touch with some of you in case you would, or you happen to be in Bangalore. I'm based out of Bangalore. If you're traveling to Bangalore, God willing, then we should definitely catch up over coffee or lunch. And I would be more than happy to host you, even in my university. And you can interact with young minds and, give some interesting ideas and thoughts and problems to solve. So I would like to thank everybody from Lemon and this particular program and this cohort for having me and give me an opportunity to speak to you guys. And let's hope that we meet again, online or offline. And all the best to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Darika. Thank you very much for being here and letting these participants with your thought process. And I think they will be very happy to join you over mail. Thank you. Yeah, with this session now, there are some questions people are asking. Tell us more about Lemon Ideas. So Lemon Ideas was formed in 2013, and we are a very private entity. We are not supported by government, and we are entrepreneurs like you. And we are we have a vision of channelizing the potential of ideas, talents, and aspiration towards innovation, entrepreneurship, and job creation to make the world better and more sustainable. So we have a mission of supporting around 10,000 innovators, entrepreneurs, and change makers in 10 years, and we have already reached the 7,000 mark. And We work under following verticals. So Lemon Ideas is the acceleration arm of under which a lot of mentoring for startups and small enterprises takes place. We run acceleration programs, we do consulting, and we also have partnership with academic and government agencies. We have our training arm, which is known as Lemon School of Entrepreneurship. Through this, which we do a lot of programs like right now, what we do webinars, we do a lot of cohorts under this, and we'll let you know more about this once we finish the program. We are wanting to launch a cohort today, so we'll announce the cohort for you. And then we have Entrepreneurs, which is a startup platform, where there's a platform for the startups to come and present their ideas, and it is more a contest. It is a contest platform. So it has got a global outreach. We had participants from more than 10 countries in our previous season 7, where we just completed in the month of March. And there's something coming up, Lemon Seed Fund, which is in a futuristic thing, which is coming up very soon. And you can see we started our journey in 2013, and with God's grace in 2020, we pivoted from regional to national, and in 21 we went from national to international. So guiding principles which are very important for us at Lemon, under which all our activities get under the umbrella. So this is spirituality, the innovation, empathy, and sustainability, conscience, and co-creation. So we are strong believers of co-creation. That's why we always say, let us not compete but co-create. So we have mapped our work with SDGs. So you can find that there are 7 SDGs mapped to our working. A few impact numbers: 7,000 entrepreneurs supported till date. We have recognized 400 plus entrepreneurs through various events. We have conducted around 5,000 live pitches. We have given around 2 publications till now, and the 3rd publication we are working on it. So this is the presence in the countries. We do get prominent guests, and we are hand-holding from various people in the society, like they are union ministers, they are from industry, they are embassies. So we had the ambassador from Bhutan who had inaugurated Entrepreneurs season 7. Then we had the deputy chief of mission from Nepal embassy who had participated as one of the guests in the season 7. Then we have this publication which I was talking about. They're freely available on the website. You can just go there and download them and read them. There are some appreciations received for us for work which we do by government. And you can follow us on our social media handles, which are the Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can connect to us on LinkedIn also, and request for joining our WhatsApp handle. With this short brief, I request Ms. Rafeta E. Murshid, who is the co-founder at GIN, to talk more about and share more about GIN. They are partnering with us for this event, and they have worked very hard to get this event organized for you. With this, I hand over to Rafeta.
She's on mute.
Yeah, Warifta. Warifta, you're not audible. You're not audible. Not yet. May I request you check your mic?
Audible now?
Yes, you're audible now.
Okay, great. Great to meet you again, sir. So, hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum, namaskar, and kuzangpola. I'm Warifta, one of the founders of Gross International Nature, besides Ringlamo. So, Gross International Nature, it's a young environmental conservation organization. It is trying to find transboundary environmental solutions. GIN, it is supporting Lemon School of Entrepreneurs to host Entrepreneurship. which is an immerse entrepreneurship bootcamp for early stage and aspiring entrepreneurs, those who are here. And I'm glad those who could make time in this weekend to learn and exchange knowledge. It's great to have you here. And we are glad we were one of the participants and with Lemon School of Entrepreneurs, and we have learned a lot and believe that great to see you, Sir Deepak, who was our mentor, and Sir Saurav, Sir Mukesh have been guiding us till now. So I believe this platform will really help you to take your take whatever entrepreneurship ideas you have to take further. Thank you very much, and I would share the platform with others. This is here from my side.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Harshita, for this short brief, and thank you for supporting us. With this, I invite Mr. Deepak Menaria, who is the founder and CEO of Lemon Idea. He is the person who started all this for you, and I now request him to just guide us further. Over to you, Deepak.
I'm not able to unmute. Okay, fine, fantastic. So I hope I'm audible. Saurabh, can you just confirm, please?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, very good afternoon. Namaskar, everyone. So happy to be part of this very interesting program. I think this takes our international footprints to another milestone, because we are doing such an program for the first time where participants from multiple countries are participating, and this is purely for training and learning. So that makes this very interesting for us at Lemon. So thank you, Gross International team. I know most of you now. I have interacted with you multiple times. So I keep hearing about you through Saurabh and my team. So fantastic. I must compliment you for your fantastic work, and would want to appreciate. And I'm sure this kind of sessions will go a long way for nurturing this ecosystem in this neighboring countries, and would definitely help everyone. So I think this is great, because I've been told by my team that we had registration from about 12 countries. So I think this makes it very interesting that 12 countries participants have registered for their interest in entrepreneurship, and would want to pursue some kind of association or engagement with Lemon School of Entrepreneurship. So that's I think amazing, and all this credit goes to the entire Gross International team. Thank you so much. So again, such a coincidence, just day before yesterday, I was with the ambassador of Nepal in Delhi, and today I'm talking to participants where there are Nepalese participants. So wow, I think our association with these neighboring countries is really is really encouraging, and we are very happy that India being a big brother, India being a big ecosystem in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of the overall growth. I think it's a great thing for us to help and pass on our intellectual experience and knowledge to more participants from Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives. These are few countries which have been keep coming to our platform. Plus, I think we have some good work done in Africa. So I'm very happy that there have been some registration from Africa as well. Then Europe is something which we have started recently. And I think Australia and US are also something which we have just started. So predominantly, most of our work has been around South Asia, and happy to see such a good audience from South Asia. So what we can bring, what India can bring for you? Yes, I think this is an amazing start, because India is one of the fastest growing GDPs in the world today. So if you look at the major economies of the world, this top 10, 15 nations of the world, India is one of the fastest growing GDP as per the predictions of the World Bank. So there's a lot of happening here in India. We are the third largest ecosystem in the world when it comes to startups. So the startup ecosystem is very matured now. Almost every week, on an average, we are producing one unicorn right now. So one unicorn every week is the average right now. So that makes a very, very vibrant ecosystem. There is a major push on the MSME side. So a lot of MSMEs which could have a good startup dimension will also start appearing in the startup list very soon, because we were talking to the Startup India team yesterday, and we were very happy that MSME is becoming a focus area where there is some good work happening, and we need to bring the innovation dimension there. So with all this, I think this means a lot to all participants here, because when it comes to a startup, I think there is an amazing opportunity to create, to innovate, and to collaborate. It's not like that it's my startup, my enterprise. So what is the need to go to 10 people and look for something more? The moment you have this innovation on your canvas, possibilities go to level unlimited. You never know what can come from which quarter, which collaboration thread can lead you where. And this is something which we have been doing very, very passionately over the years. Every time we have this Innopreneur platform, it looks to be a competition, but I'm sure Gross International team, Tema, Varfita, and all will agree that there is a lot of push on the collaboration side, where we want startups to collaborate. Gross International is a very, very classical case. We had 3 examples of a similar concept, similar idea in season 7 of Innopreneurs, all at different stages. So there's so much they can learn from each other, and that's what I think makes collaboration as a key element to really grow. And with this, in this Zoom room itself, if I see there are people from so many countries, just imagine the power which you can carry the moment you start collaborating with each other. The moment you know who is doing what and what can I do with him, or what can that person do for me. There is always room for cross geography expansion. There is always some room for piggybacking on the product line. There is always some room for technical collaboration and help and support. So I think these are some things which I am very, very passionate, and I'm very, very happy to see this kind of a group here. And Lemon School of Entrepreneurship has a very, very different pedagogy. It's not like reading through a textbooks or getting kind of a gyan from the Googles of the world. No. I don't think entrepreneurship is about reading books. Entrepreneurship is about listening to someone. Entrepreneurship is about doing. And that is what my mentors at Lemon School of Entrepreneurship will push you to do something, will push you to take the first step. The moment you take the first step, the journey will unfold. The journey will unfold because your first step will decide your second step. Your second step will give shape to the third step. That's the reality of life. No matter whatever we predict, no matter whatever planning we do, but ultimately at the end of the day, there's always going to be an ambiguity about future. Last 2-3 years, we have seen the biggest examples of reality of life. All planning, all predictions went haywire. Nobody has predicted what world is experiencing in last 2 years. So that's the reality of life. That's the ambiguity. And as an entrepreneur, we have to fall in love with ambiguity. We don't have to be afraid of ambiguity. We have to fall in love with ambiguity. That's what we are here for. That's what we know. If there's something which we don't know, we will embrace it. We will find our ways. We know what is the best way to move forward. There are challenges, there are ups and downs, there are failures, but as an entrepreneur, there is learning from every such experience. And that's what we have done it for 9 years. That's what I'm sure everybody of you will also be doing it. So before I just touch base two aspects, because I'm sure with with this program being launched by Lemon School of Entrepreneurship, I'm sure we'll have more reasons and more occasions to talk on specific themes. We'll do a lot of stuff in terms of activities, in terms of some projects. But right now, I'll just touch upon two things. One is something that we have recently embraced from Bhutan, something that we have recently kind of agreed, embraced, learned from Bhutan. We were kind of moving in that direction, but our last 2 years of interaction with a lot of Bhutanese entrepreneurs, a lot of key officials from Bhutan have given us this direction that we have started talking about mindful entrepreneurship. So the entire credit of mindful entrepreneurship that I'm talking goes to everybody in Bhutan. So it's something which we realize that we have been doing it, and we have been doing it unknowingly, unconsciously, but now we want to do it very, very consciously. So what does mindful entrepreneurship mean? So to us, mindful entrepreneurship means that you are aware of what you are. You are aware of your own purpose. You are aware of your own personality. You know who you are and why you are here and what you want to do. So with that self-awareness, with that slight ingredient of spirituality, with that notion that you are here for a larger purpose, you attempt to solve some problem. And this problem that you're trying to solve is in the interest of the humanity, is in the interest of planet, it is the interest of people, it's in the interest of everyone around, the future generations. So if you do all this, to us, it's mindful entrepreneurship, where you are concerned about your ecology, you are concerned about your surrounding, you are mindful of your own self, you are mindful of the world, you are mindful of future generations, you are mindful of planet, and every attempt to positively contribute in this, I think will definitely be a great hope for the future generations. So that's something which I will appeal to everybody in the Zoom room here, that let's think more from a mindful perspective. We want to be entrepreneurs. Everybody wants to earn money. Definitely that has to be an aim. That has to, because we want to earn our livelihood. We want to lead happy life. We want to be joyful. At the same time, in this process, is there something that we can contribute for our future generation, for our children, so that they could also live the way we are living today? The last piece that I will touch upon is I was getting some kind of question in the chat box, and that also made me think that I'm assuming most of the people in the Zoom room are new to entrepreneurship. So possibly they would have some idea, some interest, some ignition. They are curious. They have got some inspiration. They have got some motivation, but they are not absolutely sure that is this their cup of life? Is it their way of life? So where to start? That's the only thing which I'll touch upon, is where to start. I think you have to start from your own self. That's the starting point. The starting point of an entrepreneurial journey has to be your own self. What do you want to solve? You might have 10 number of things you want to solve, and that's a good problem to have. That's a good confusion to have. You might think that, okay, I can do this, I love that. So the moment you start expanding your thought process, I'm sure you will have a list of items that you can do or you would want to do in your life as an entrepreneur, solving some problems, filling some gaps, addressing some needs, or maybe leveraging an opportunity. But everything will start with an idea, and you might have multiple ideas, but the best way is to start writing them. Start accommodating your ideas first, and then that's a good problem to start. Which idea is your baby? Which idea is your life partner? That is something which will get evolved over a period of time. We at Lemon School also, we have some fantastic ways and processes and models to refine your search here. So you might have, we have experienced and a case where a person started with 117 ideas and finally came down to around 5. So you might have 10, you might have 15, you might come up with 20, 50. Absolutely. The more bigger the list, it is good, because you are not leaving anything untouched. Because tomorrow, otherwise, you might say, I forgot that. That could have been my idea. So we want you to think as much as you can. And that's where your journey of entrepreneurship will start. It's about, I'm sure Mukesh ji will talk about a lot of things about entrepreneurship, jockey, horse, and everything else. So I don't want to grab his content here. But I'm just trying to encourage all of you and would want you to take up your entrepreneurial journey forward. There are people like us, there are crazy, stupid people like us who are there to help you and support you. With this, I wish you all the best. Thank you, Saurabh Shah and the entire Lemon School of Entrepreneurship team for arranging this program, for inviting me to this session. Thank you, team of Gross International. Wish you all the best. God bless you. Jai Ho. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you very much for inviting us. And I think you will also be there for the Q&A session. So when people are ready to ask questions, we'll be there to answer them. So with this, I move to my next mentor who is here to talk to you, and he will dwell upon all your basic questions, and not taking much time between you and him. I hand over to Mukesh Bhai, as we call him.
Thank you very much, Saurabh bhai. It's once again a pleasure to talking to somebody who have decided to get into the domain called as entrepreneurship. I don't know who owns the monopoly of the domain of entrepreneurship, because I feel that whenever I'm talking to people, this is my domain. And I think everybody should feel the same, because no one person on this earth can say that entrepreneurship is his own area and nobody else's, because together we have built this ecosystem here. I'm a small part of it, and same you can be also. Well, I presume I'm talking to people who have something inside them which they want to come out. Probably they are doing something and they have something else in their heart and mind which they want to do. Now this is the right trigger an entrepreneur has. I'm not saying entrepreneurs are born. Because otherwise everybody is an entrepreneur. But unless until you do something and prove to this world that you have done something, and then world recognizes you as an entrepreneur. I cannot say that I'm an entrepreneur. There is no badge available in the market which I can put on my chest and say that I'm an entrepreneur. People, I keep on doing which I want to do. If it appeals the world, then world labels me as an entrepreneur. I'm not going to go into the details of how to become an entrepreneur right now. But yes, I'll surely be talking of who can be an entrepreneur. I'm underlining the word, who can be an entrepreneur. And I'll start with a simple answer. Everyone cannot be an entrepreneur. No, everyone cannot be an entrepreneur, but anybody can be an entrepreneur. Everyone cannot be an entrepreneur, but anybody can be an entrepreneur. Everyone cannot be an entrepreneur means to be an entrepreneur, you need to have that zeal. Out of 100 people I meet, see, due to my commitment to the Lemon School of Entrepreneurship and Lemon Ideas and my passion into entrepreneurship, we keep on meeting people. Out of 100 people I meet, out of 100 young minds I meet, though it's not a very happy news at this stage, but still a promising news, that 70 people straight away say that I'm interested in studying and I'm interested in getting into a big corporate so that I can earn good livelihood. 70% people. Now there are 10%, 15% people who are still not sure what they want to do, whether they want to do something or not, because they are still exploring, so I keep them aside. Now remaining out of the 10, 15% people, only 5 to 8 or 10% people are those people who say that, yes, I want to do something of my own. What do you mean by something of my own? That means that I want to do something where instead of me going and asking for a job, I'll create something that I can offer job to people. I'll do something which will solve the problem in society. So Everyone cannot be an entrepreneur, but anybody who wishes to be an entrepreneur can be an entrepreneur. Now, Tom, I'll just very quickly discuss certain traits with you. Because we have people from different part of the world, predominantly from Bhutan, which has been very close to Lemon since last 3-4 years. Bangladesh, recently they've started very actively getting connected to Lemon. And yes, we have people from Nepal. We have few people from, I've understood few people from Maldives or Uganda, or maybe US, or maybe Pakistan also I've heard. I don't know whether it's there or not. But then very quickly, I'll discuss certain traits which, according to me, an entrepreneur should have. Now, it's up to you to gauge whether you have it. Is it difficult to have it if you feel that I don't have this? Is it very difficult to have it? Just be with me. Allow me to share my screen. I'm sure screen is visible now. Because this has been a very common question since last 2 years. We are doing online programs. The first question is, am I audible? Is my screen visible? Now, after those two basic questions, which are, of course, assumed that I've asked them, I presume that you have given me the answer that yes, I'm visible, clearly visible. I'm going to talk about very basics of entrepreneurship. We call it ABCD of an entrepreneurship, or a new age entrepreneurship, or developing an entrepreneurial mindset. Different names and different type of programs we give to it. But basic is that you need to have at least these traits in you if you really wish to make this world a better place to live. An entrepreneur needs to be creator. Somebody who wishes that he or she wants to become an entrepreneur, the first trait is, I'm not putting it in chronological order, first, second, third, fourth. The first of the trait is creators. Entrepreneur needs to be creators. Now, some of you might say that, unfortunately, I don't have that creative bend of mind. I don't have that creativity inside me. I don't say that you are not correct. I normally don't use the term wrong in my life, because there is nothing called the right or wrong. It's all subjective. So let me put it, I won't say that you are not putting it right. But allow me to take you to your school days. Of course, people sitting with me in the Zoom room, go back to your school days. When I say school days, early school days, maybe in the first grade or second grade, or maybe the senior nursery, whatever you call it in your place, the levels of education, first grade or second grade or third grade. Just remember, get in the flashback and remember the day when your teacher in your class, in your school, in your class, made you do certain craft. You have been given some paper, you have given some clay, or maybe some thermocol or something of that material. And when you were being asked to prepare some model, maybe a house, maybe a fort sort of thing, and you prepared those things. And just imagine, just think how careful you were while you were taking back that model of yours from school to your home, back to your home. You are so careful that it should not get damaged. And when you reached home, probably you must have told your mother, your father, your parents that which is the best corner of the house, remove whatever is there and put this model there, because according to you, this was the best creation. To be very honest, you would have asked your parents, that was the worst. But for you, it was best because you did something of your own. That doesn't mean that it was, I'm not calibrating it in a comparison to something which you already had in your home. It's something that you did, you prepared, you created out of your imagination. Now, what else is creativity if not this? You can see the figure on the screen. I should not ask the question, but yes, it's a Steve Jobs. Now, why do you put the figure of Steve Jobs, the creator? Because he created something of his own. Now, this creativity does not guarantee you the success lifelong. No. You know the story. Steve Jobs created, then he was thrown out. Then the big people, they say that you can take everything that I have, but nobody can take the creativity inside me. I can again create whatever I want. And I can create a bigger one than I created earlier, because now I have the double zeal. So creativity is something which is there inside everybody. Over the period of time, due to our current education system, that creativity is being suppressed and logical thinking has been given a more prominence. Because the more the logical, less the creative. More the creative, maybe less the logical. So an entrepreneur, initial level, when you're thinking, when you're trying to create something, let's be less logical and be more creative. We have that logic inside us. We will use it whenever we need it. I don't mean to say that entrepreneurs should not be logical. There are certain places where you need to apply your logic. Like Unyalji said, Dwarikaji said, you need to know when to say no, and what to say no, and what to say yes. But the basic trait which every human being has is the creativity. Probably to define it simply, creativity is something, seeing something which others don't see, looking at the same thing. Means everybody is looking at the same thing, but maybe a creative person can see something which others are not able to see. That's the way we must have understood it also. You just go back and think how a sculpture says that, how do you make this beautiful, beautiful sculpture? He says, I just look at this piece of a rock and I could see a beautiful sculpture inside. So I just chiseled out the extra part and there comes that beautiful piece of art. So sculpture, maybe painter, whatever people whom we say are creative people, they can see something in the object which everybody is seeing but cannot see that. Now, in your family, you all are sitting in a breakfast table. You are having something in your breakfast. You are having something in your breakfast. A kid may pick up something from the plate and resemble it to maybe some sports equipment, or maybe something in the sky, or maybe some like a god-like. Isn't it looking like the god? Isn't it looking like sun? Isn't it looking like moon? They may pick up something and say, this is moon. Now you were seeing the same thing, but you could not see moon in it. That small kid can see moon in it. Now this is that creative bend inside everybody. So let that creative bend be more prominently seen. You must have seen small kids playing on the beach, playing on the sea beach. They make the castles out of the sand on the beach. And if somebody puts a step on it, they start crying at the top of their voice because somebody has hurted their creativity. Do you have that courage? Do I have that courage to go to the beach and play with the sand? Government has got a rule written that anybody above 20 years or 18 years cannot play in the sand. Let's start doing it. That helps us bring that creator out to the world. So entrepreneur needs to be creators. Believe you me, you and me have that creativity inside us. So give it a little leverage so that it comes out. Point number two. Experimentation. Now entrepreneur breed, the breed of entrepreneur is somebody who have that readiness to experiment. Who have this readiness to experiment? There are certain set of people, whenever you approach them with something new idea, they say, come on, this is not possible. And there is a small set of people who will always say, let's give it a try. Why not? What will happen at the most? At the most, what will happen? It won't work. No problem. We can go back to square. But there is no point in leaving it. Let's do the experiment. Let's give it a try. Now, giving it a try is an experimentation. Again, the question comes is, do I have that sense of experimentation in me? Let me again take back to your school, because I'm putting all these things in front of you with an example of your and my school like this. We all have that thing inside us. When I was in my school, probably in 6th or 7th grade, first time I visited the chemistry lab. I don't know what grade you visited, what grade you visited chemistry lab. But the first visit, or maybe the first year of your visiting the chemistry lab, doing some practicals in the chemistry lab, that first visit to my chemistry laboratory, and I was being introduced with the different species lying in that chemistry lab, something called as a test tube, something called as a conical flask, something called as a burette or the pipette, maybe all those things in the chemistry lab. It still reminds me, out of after more than 45 years, it still reminds me, the memory is so fresh. I can remember the experiment I was doing with pouring some liquid from that long burette into the conical flask, transparent liquid into the transparent liquid in conical flask. And my teacher said, okay, go ahead and add 2 more drops. And I opened the tap and 1 and 2 drops. And eureka! It was a eureka moment for me. The transparent liquid got turned into pink. How is it possible? A transparent liquid being added to transparent liquid and it getting pink, it getting turned into pink. Amazing! I'm Einstein now. Means there was one Einstein and there is one Mukesh Ashar. Nobody in between, because I've done something which nobody would have ever thought. This was my thinking that time. But a batch earlier to me did that same experiment half an hour before. So what? For me, I was as good as Einstein that day. Now, isn't it the power of experimentation? When you experiment something and you really get the result, my God, you feel at the top of the 7th heaven. I did a similar experiment. Somebody told me that, okay, take these 2 pieces of wire, take this small battery, take this small bulb, put 1 wire of the battery, 1 wire to the top of the battery and 1 wire at the bottom of the battery, and put these 2 wires at this particular place in the bulb. I hold 1 wire, and the moment I touch the 2nd wire, the bulb blew. Wow! Now Mukesh Ashar is no more a Mukesh Ashar. Mukesh Ashar is Sir Mukesh Ashar, because Mukesh Ashar has become a scientist. He can make the bulb glow. It's the battery which is making the bulb glow. But since I did it that day in my school, I felt that yes, I can do anything in this world. Perhaps I feel those are the experiments being asked to do just to make the belief strong inside us. Yes, I can do anything. Why do we make our surroundings put pressure on those sense of experimentation and let it go down? No, yeah. Come on. Every day, do some experiment. Try to do something new. If you're going to your office from certain way, fixed way, now this is the human mindset. We become so comfortable in going to our office from our home through a fixed way, because we know it's going to take me 12 minutes. It's going to be not very traffic road with not too much of traffic. It's comfortable. Why do we put ourselves in so much comfort every day? There are 10 different ways to go to your office from your home. Have you ever tried once? You may say they may take extra time. How do you know they may take extra time? You tried once and then put the conclusion. Hence prove that this road is taking extra time. It may take 3 minutes extra, but probably it may give you some extra insight on how beautiful that side of the city is. You've never been through it. So to get something, invest that 3 more minutes and you start getting those beautiful things. You may make some good friends. You may meet some of your office colleague who comes from that route. You may get a good company. Keep on experimenting. I mean, entrepreneurs is somebody who has that spirit of experimentation very strong in him. Everybody has. I said, everyone cannot become an entrepreneur, but anybody can become an entrepreneur. Now tell me, who has not gone to school? Who has not done experimentation? I say people who don't go to school also keep on experimenting daily with the day-to-day things in the life. I give you an example of school because it's easy to relate those things. So entrepreneurs are those people who are strong in experimentation. They need to give it a try and then decide whether this works or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, what can be done to make it work? If at all, I really want to do it. Move to number 3. Now, this is something that most of the time people get stuck up here. Believe me, they say that, yes, I have that creativity. I can do something good. They have that sense of experimentation. Yes, I'm ready to do experiments also. But do people have capacity to take risk? I mean, the biggest question that I feel has become in the world to become entrepreneur is that I really want to do something, but I don't know how to do it. Oh, what do you mean by how I don't know how to do it? I'm there, I'm helping you. But sir, it needs a lot of money. What do you mean a lot of money? Sir, it needs this much amount. Don't you have? No, I have. But should I put it? What will happen? Sir, what if I lose it? Come on, yaar. What if you're walking on the road, you have that money in your pocket, somebody comes and robs you, you lose it otherwise also. What if you keep it in the bank and bank gets flopped, bank gets closed, you lose it otherwise also. What if something happens in the family and you use that money for the treatment, otherwise the money is also gone. So there are all the ways for money to go if it has to go. But if you are not taking risk, probably you are killing your spirit of entrepreneurship just by keeping yourself on hold by not putting that money on the risk. Money is one thing. People are, in fact, money has only one factor. People are, in fact, afraid of taking risks. I am sitting here in my office, in my cabin, right at the top of my head, there is a fan. What if I'm talking to you and the fan falls down on my head? I'm gone. So there is a risk. Right in the back of my head, there is an air condition. What if I tilt back and the air condition unit falls down on my head? I'm gone. I'm sitting on the chair. What if one of the wheel breaks and my chair tilts and I fall down and get a brain hemorrhage? I'm gone. What if I try to get up and I tumble down and something happens? Don't you feel there's a risk here? What if while going back from my office to home, I sit in my vehicle and somebody smashes me? Bang! Something may go wrong. Isn't it a risk? Where in the life you don't have risk? Every single step that you take has a risk. And every single moment, whether you take the step or not, there is a risk because something may fall on you and you may become late. So there is risk always. Then why are we afraid of this risk? You only have to risk certain time, maybe a year or two, to see whether this fits into this groove or not. Maybe certain amount of money, because I always say that whenever a startup comes to us and say we want funding, we always ask a basic question: how much have you invested of yours? If you are not ready to risk your money into a startup, why will then external agency risk his money? It's their money. So it's only question of maybe a small amount of money and a small amount of time. Now, if you're not ready to put that much also, probably you fall into the people who really don't want to become an entrepreneur. They're only fascinated by the word entrepreneur or entrepreneurship. But anybody who is ready to take risk, why should ready? We are always ready to take risk. I'm right now talking to you, I'm risking myself. I'm using the laptop, it's electronic gadget. Anything can go wrong with the power cord. And things around me may get on fire the next moment. So don't be afraid of that risk. Yes, entrepreneurs go for calculated risk. We are not gamblers. I'm not talking about gamblers who keep on gambling by taking the risk. I'm not talking about the gambling. I'm talking about risk. Take the calculated risk. What can be used to mitigate the risk? Those are the things that we can discuss later on. But this is the spirit that we have. Go back to your early childhood. The day you started, you learn to walk. Now, you may say, I was very small, I don't remember, but everybody has seen somebody else growing up in our home, and we have seen how that small kid starts walking. The moment he or she gets up, the kid falls down. It may hurt here and there. He or she starts crying. The next moment, we slightly pacify that kid, stops crying and starts walking. Doesn't that kid give us a strong lesson? You may fall. You may get hurt here and there. But then that hurt feeling or that fall should not stop you from trying it again. Come on, yeah. If I don't risk myself, probably never in the life will I be able to walk. If I've learned walking, if I've learned driving, if I've learned talking, if I've learned anything in my life, I've risked my life to a certain extent. Entrepreneurship also demands certain amount of risk that needs to be taken. How to mitigate it, how to manage it, how to calculate it, that can be done later on. But this is something that is required. Because if you don't take risk, probably you may not try anything new. Let me move ahead. Now, this is something that needs to be very strongly understood. Entrepreneurs are those people who are very, very, very cautious in citing the opportunities. You need to keep on citing opportunities. You need to have that 360-degree vision around. Maybe like an owl. You need to see everywhere, where can I cite that opportunity? opportunity. Don't wait for someone to come and tell you, okay, look at this. This is something that you can think about. I'm an entrepreneur, yeah. I can see, I can identify where is the opportunity for me. I can see 10 opportunities. Then, as Varika ji said, I need to decide which fits into my scheme of things, which stimulates me. Which stimulates me. I'm walking around. I'm just going on an evening walk in certain area, and I see something happening in one particular set of society over there. They are struggling to solve one issue. Probably they are living in that kind of thing only. Now, as an entrepreneur, can I do something? Can I do something to help them? As an entrepreneur, I've cited an opportunity. How do we define it? An entrepreneur is a person who creates a solution for a problem being faced by society so that their life becomes easy, and in turn, he or she can make fortune out of that, earn out of that. Now, earning is not a bad term. Making fortune is not bad. But is it solving the problem? So you need to have that eye to find out the opportunity. Where is it? Now, everywhere there will be a lot of opportunities. Tomorrow you'll find something in the market which is solving your problem, and you have been facing that problem since years and years and years, and mankind is facing the problem since ages. But nobody thought that something can be done over it. Probably somebody like you and me who had the entrepreneurial mindset noticed that yes, I can do something, found it as an opportunity and converted it into a problem and further on a solution. At times, society may not know that this is a problem for them. I'm making their life more easy, more easy. That means it was easy. I'm making it more easy. So that easy was not a problem. But the moment you make it more easy, the earlier one becomes problem. Now you and me are habituated of using this kind of mobile phones. Earlier we were using the bar phones. Now the bar phones was not a problem, but then probably Apple, correct me if I'm wrong, Apple introduced the touch screen and he said, why do you press the buttons? You have the entire screen at your convenience. You do whatever you want to. Use your only one thumb and you can do whatever you want to on this particular screen. Now that is making people believe that life can be more easy. Life can be more enjoyable and comfortable. But for that, you need to put yourself in uncomfortable zone. Try to find out what else I can give, where I can add value in the life of the people around me. So that is what we call as citing an opportunity. It is everywhere. You need not go to a particular city or a town or a country or a continent to find out the opportunity. It's around everywhere. You need to decide what opportunity matches your antenna or your receivers. And probably that can be a big game for you. Now, this is ideas. So, entrepreneur need to be a person who is a creator. Entrepreneur need to be a person who has that zeal of experimenting. He is a person who should be ready to take risk wherever in the life, of course, calculated one, not a blind game like a gambler. An entrepreneur is a person who should have that eye or should have those antennas over her head, searching for opportunities around. And the moment they are done, they come up with an idea. Now, we have been meeting so many entrepreneurs day in and day out. One thing which they come up with is, sir, do you, please, can you give me some time? I need to discuss something with you. Okay, go ahead. What do you want to say? Sir, I have a very small idea. It's very small, sir. It's a very small one. What do you mean by small one? Your ideas are ideas. Every idea is small. You see a banyan tree. You see a big banyan tree. Does that tree suddenly comes up so big? It starts with a small seed. Do you think YouTube was born so big? Do you believe Facebook was born so big? Do you believe anything that you know in the world of entrepreneurship was born so big? Leave entrepreneurship aside. Do you believe me and you were born so big? No. Everything starts with a small. So don't underrate your idea by putting an adjective like a small to it. An idea is an idea. It's not the size of the idea. It's the conviction that you have inside that idea. For that idea matters a lot. That means how powerful you are in making that idea convert into reality makes all the difference. But if you say that I have one idea is something which everybody has. I can guarantee you stand on the main road and you with the currency notes in your hand, the bundle of currency notes in your hand, and you start stopping everybody who is walking around and say, I'll give you this currency note, maybe a 10 rupee of your whatever currency you have in your country. Give me 5 working ideas. I can guarantee every single individual walking on the road whom you know, don't know or don't know, has that 4 or 5 ideas in the mind right at the time, at particular moment. If you give them the money, they'll give you the ideas. But then it's not what you have, it's how you make it. So as Deepak was saying in his closing remarks of his address, he said that ideas is like a horse, but an entrepreneur is like a jockey. This is our philosophy of Lemon. At Lemon, we treat ideas as horse, but we ensure that entrepreneur becomes jockey. If jockey is powerful, he can make any horse win. Horse may be best of the quality of the world, but if jockey is stupid, the best of the horse cannot win the race. But if jockey is powerful, an ordinary horse can also create miracle on certain days when that particular jockey is on that horse. So we believe that ideas are good, but that ideas are ideas. How will you convert that ideas into reality makes all the difference. So we at Lemon, we strongly believe in making those ideas converted into reality with the help of that strong jockey. And we put all the thing inside that jockey so that he becomes capable of riding any horse. So ideas, don't go by the size of the idea. Go by your love or your passion or your attachment or your inclination toward that idea. Somebody may say, you need to decide why do you want to go with that idea. Is it creating that kind of special music inside you? Whenever you look at certain kind of things, something happens inside you. Is it that? Or just because somebody told, hey, why don't you work on this? You're working on this. No, that is normally being done in your job. When somebody tells you do this and you do that, you may be good at doing it, but still you're doing it because somebody has told you. Now, this is the difference between an entrepreneur and somebody who's working in a corporate. Maybe entrepreneur might earn X and that guy with a job in the corporate might be earning 10X. I'm not comparing the earning, but he's doing it because somebody has told him to do, him or her. Count it that way. But you are doing it because that creates this special music inside you. You feel that something is happening inside me the moment I say this. And that is idea which is actually meant for you. Or maybe I'll put it the other way. You are actually meant to convert that idea into reality. World was waiting. The entire universe was waiting for you to come in front of that particular idea so it gets converted into reality. So many people would have seen because it's right in front of everybody. But again, that creativity inside you could make you see, which nobody else could see in that particular situation. So an entrepreneur gets attached to some idea if it clicks inside. So don't go with the size of idea. An idea is idea. Trust the conviction that you have for that idea. You need to be a committed lover. Allow me to sip of my tea also. Otherwise, it will go cold. Committed lover. You need to be a committed lover. Now, let me take you to your youth. Probably those people who are in youth. Let me remind you of your current state. Those people who have crossed the stage, I'll take you back into the stage with, of course, your permission. And I also do it on my own permission. Go back to the days of your college, maybe when you felt attracted to somebody. Now, the moment you feel attraction to somebody, you want to get close to that person. And you use all the games you can play to ensure that you come close to that person if the attachment you feel is coming from inside your heart. I'm not talking about the physical attraction. I'm talking about something that happens inside you when you see somebody. Now, slowly, you start feeling that life is incomplete without a person. And you start thinking about that person day in and day out. And then you feel that if I'm not with that person, I go crazy. I become mad. I'm not a person if I'm not with that person. So you always try to stay with that person and take your relationship to a status where both of you become one. Now remove that person from this story and put your idea into it. If you are not feeling that without your idea you are half mad, or you are mad, or you are not complete, probably you are not still into the love affair with your idea. Unless and until you have that kind of a strong sense of attraction towards that idea, probably you need still more time to get marinated with that idea. You need to be committed lovers. You may start doing it. You may not be able to complete it. You may find people who will say, I told you, you cannot do it. Your family members, your friends, your colleagues. Believe me, these are the first set of person who will create the problem for you. No, you cannot do it. But if you have committed yourself, you say, whatever you say, I'm committed, I'll give it a try. Let me give it a try. I've committed 2 years. I've committed X amount of money for it. Let me give it a try. And I'm sure I'm going to do it. Show your commitment. Show your conviction. Let people see. I may sound a little stupid when I say this, but then I strongly believe into it. Even your idea can see and sense your attachment towards it. And probably this is what we call law of attraction. If it is sensing, entire universe is sensing your attachment and your depth of your love with your idea. Then nobody can stop you from achieving those things. Nobody can stop you. Not even the God will stop you. Everything will fall in place and you'll start achieving whatever you want in life. But you need to have that kind of commitment as you had during your relationship. Now, job creation, as I mentioned earlier, an entrepreneur is not somebody who says that somebody should be there always to give the instructions to me. That's job. People who seek job will always seek job. People, the special breed of a special community is emerging. And that is something which is the dire need of this world, today's world, that we don't want job seekers, we want job creators. One job seeker will work in one company, one job creator will give job to 1,000 people. So job creator, this is Sam Welton, the owner of the Walmart, probably a biggest entity in the world apart from government organization, private entity in the world which is employing people. Let me not go into the details of the numbers. I'm not here to give you the awareness about this particular Walmart. I'm just here to tell you that these are the people who did not start very big, who did not start with an intention to make a big fortune out of it. They just started, and the objective was helping people get job. More and more, more and more, more and more, more and more. It kept on adding, and the Walmart became the biggest employer in the world. Apart from government organization, private biggest employer in the world. So one strong intention of an entrepreneur is that he needs to have that feel inside that, yes, I need to create jobs for people. Now, this is something which you might be aware. I'm referring to Wikipedia. Now, the big social impact is Jimmy Wales created Wikipedia just to help people get the best of the information, the most authentic information on any particular subject. Now, where did this guy get this information? If you are into something, creating something really worthwhile for society, automatically the genuine help will pour in from around. As I said, the entire universe will conspire to make it happen. Now, people are contributing free of cost also. How is he making money? His intentions here are not making money. I don't mean to say you should also work for a social cause, but a bit of social impact should always be seen, visible, and felt by society in whatever you do. It should not be pure money minting machine. No. Income or profit or wealth creation is byproduct. If you are doing it genuinely for society, helping a bigger chunk of society, your wealth creation is a byproduct. It will happen automatically. Small idea can make big difference. In fact, a small area can make big difference. Can you make a glass of lemonade without putting the drop by drop lemon juice. No, you have to put it drop by drop. But then 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 drops, half a lemon, and you make a beautiful lemonade out. So keep doing drop by drop by drop. Don't expect a lemonade to become suddenly. The taste will improve slowly if you keep on adding those things. Now, these are a few faces on your screen, and probably maybe easy for you all to identify. Looking at the time, I won't put you into trouble of guessing everything. But then this is a different breed of people whom we say, you say, the world says entrepreneurs. They don't call themselves as entrepreneurs. It's we who call them as an entrepreneur. They just say that we felt doing something and we did, and we are still doing. Now, this is Mark Zuckerberg here. This is the Bill Gates here. Then everybody is known for different things. They have that. Everybody has got different USP. Now, everybody is not working for the same thing. Now, he has created a platform which makes our social life a better life. Now, he has created a platform which is the most valued, maybe a company which is most valued company in the world, not at the number 1 or 2, but value-wise, maybe much beyond number 1. Now, this is a personality who created an environment where you and me learn how to operate our systems. Otherwise, it would have been difficult. Now, this is a Larry Page, a person whom we all trust so much that we can say, if you don't find anything anywhere, go to Google, you'll get it. Go to Google, you'll get it. Google it and you'll get it. Ask Google how to do it. Ask Google, where have I to go? Means we are so much dependent on this particular Google that we trust Google more than we trust our own vehicle owner or our driver. Put on the map, put on the Google map. Open the Google map and it will guide us. Now, this is again John Bedin, whom we all know, because the most commonly used application is WhatsApp. I need not tell you about this particular person who rose so fast and made world believe that yes, you can sell anything. If you trust, people start coming with you. I'm talking about Jeff Bezos, who created Amazon. And yes, the latest of entire world, a person who grew to become the one. Now, nobody started their entrepreneurial journey to become the richest person of the world. It all kept on happening. I'm talking about the Elon Musk. Now, ask me the question. Did not they take the risk? Yes. Everybody took a lot of risk. And they are still risking. Whatever they have, they are still risking. Now, that is something which basically requires an entrepreneur to do. You need to be ready to risk, because we've got it from here. We have to give it back here only. Nobody can take anything with them whenever we part. So this is a different kind of breed. In fact, we all know them. Now we have to. Now how this problems can be solved. I said an opportunity. An entrepreneur needs to be a person who has that flair of identifying an opportunity around. Now, current social problem is plastic. Every country in this world is fighting with the menace called as the plastic. We know that plastic is bad, but somehow we feel that I don't know how to overcome the plastic. One particular type of plastic is the plastic spoons and the plastic forks that we have been using, and the plastic plates, disposable. I mean, everything which is disposable plastic is considered to be bad for this environment, for this Mother Earth. Now, this gentleman, while traveling from one place to another, in India, from one place to another in a flight, this gentleman saw a lady sitting in the next seat in the aircraft, opening up her tiffin and using one particular type of food item to eat the rice and the curry. Now, that lady was from Gujarat province, and a Gujarati lady. They have the typical Gujarati food called as a khakra. It's a hard bread sort of thing, very hard made thin. And she was using it to eat the rice and the curry. This gentleman saw, and not only this gentleman saw, tens of other people sitting in the aircraft saw that lady eating. Now again, go back to the creativity. Everybody saw what the lady was doing, but probably this gentleman saw something which nobody else could see. If this lady can eat without plastic spoon with that particular type of bread, the rice and the curry, why can't we think of creating something which can be used to eat anything without using the plastic spoon, the plastic forks? The thought came while sitting in an aircraft looking at the lady having her meals. It can happen anywhere. And there came into existence something called as, There came into existence something called as bakies, the edible cutlery. Now this gentleman is by the name of, this gentleman is Narayan Pesapati. He created the edible cutlery. Now you can eat with that cutlery and then eat that cutlery. Later on, few of the people in different parts of the world have started doing it, but then he was the person who introduced this edible cutlery in different flavors, in different flavors. 2-3 sweet and maybe sour, little bit sour with 2-3 more mint flavor into it. And they used a system wherein they only hired underprivileged women to make this edible cutlery. Now, current social problem you identify and create a solution which can help world come out of that problem. I mean, problem is so big. One gentleman doing some little bit work won't help. But then something needs to be done. It will be picked up by the world. Now at so many different places in the world, things are happening. Another incident, another episode is this gentleman, Envy Green, a tribute to Mother Earth. We all are facing the problem polythene we use to carry things from local market. Every single vendor in the local market is using polythene. I'm using it as a general term. I know in Bhutan, probably they are they are much more aware about this, and they have stopped using all those things. But this is a universal problem otherwise. So this gentleman from Bangalore, he created an Envy Green startup wherein he's creating a polythene, not a polythene, a starch-based material which can be used instead of polythene to carry the things. Now this is the beauty. This is the Aswatha Hegde from Bangalore, created and started by the Envy Green. There is one company in Denmark, a Danish company by the name of Celluji, that's also getting deep into it and creating a bigger kind of a thing now. So you need to start doing it. The world will follow. There's something which is required by you and me. My world needs it, your world needs it, everybody needs it. So what are we waiting for? Have your antennas open. Start identifying what else can be done. And the moment you feel that something is clicking inside you, some music is started playing inside you while looking at the problem, yes, that is the right idea for you, and get on to it. We have people who will help you. Like Lemon, we constantly keep our entrepreneurs get into the area where they start doing something which they've never done. Probably they feel that whether they will do it or not. But the moment we make them do it, the first expression is, my God, I never expected I can do this thing. That is something which Lemon can be of help to you. Entrepreneurs are the people who can create things which society needs. I don't say entrepreneurs are inventors. I don't say entrepreneurs are scientists. No, they need to be people who can innovate whatever is required in the society to help the social problem. I leave my presentation with this big question mark. Now, this is a photograph. We need to put a photograph here. For those different kind of breed of people, I shown you 7 and 2, 9 examples, 7 international and 2 Indian origin example, but we created a worldwide impression. There is one vacancy here. Which picture do you want to be here? If you wish that it should be your picture in my next presentation, there is no software in the world which can put a picture directly here. You need to go through all the steps that we have discussed. And once we are able to take that kind of a risk, once we are able to show our creativity to the world, once we are shown the readiness to experiment new things, if we have that commitment to our idea, if we really want to create a social impact, probably in some times of tomorrow, maybe a picture somebody from this Zoom room might find it here. It was great talking to you. Your paths to entrepreneurship can go through Lemon School of Entrepreneurship. We are there to help people out. I mean, Colonel Saurabh Shah, an entire team of GIN is working so strongly to make this kind of event possible. And me, along with Deepak Ji and Saurabh Bhai, are crazy people, the small lot of mad people in this world who wants this world to become a world of entrepreneur. Thank you very much, Saurabh, for giving me. It was a wonderful opportunity for me to talk to young and budding entrepreneurs, because remember, everybody cannot be an entrepreneur, but anybody can become an entrepreneur. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, Mukesh. Thank you very much for the advice which you have given to the young entrepreneurs in terms of the presentation which you shared with us. And I think they'll like to know more on this subject. For that, I request and invite Mr. Krishnakant Chaturvedi for the program announcement for today. Over to you, Krish.
Thanks a lot, Saurabh sir. Can you please quickly confirm if I'm perfectly audible?
Yep, you're perfectly audible.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks a lot, sir. So, hi everyone. Nice to see you all here. I think it has been a one-sided conversation only, and I've been given the responsibility for announcing one of the program, that Lemon School of Entrepreneurship is launching. I would want to hear from you first that what sort of challenges you think you would be facing in your entrepreneurial journey. Can you mark one or two of them onto the chat box, please? Please go to the chat box and mark the kind of challenges that you can face, so that I know that you are active there. Otherwise, it looks like that we are talking to black screens. Your videos are also not on. Please go to the chat box. Can I request you to go to the chat box and mark the challenges that you guys think that, okay, this is one of the challenge, or these are the challenges that I can be able to face, or I'll be facing, in my entrepreneurial journey ahead, whether I've started or I'm thinking of starting out in both of the use cases. So I request everyone to put in the responses, and then we'll move on to the announcement. So you guys had a really wonderful, lineup of sessions. Dwari sir, then Deepak sir, then Mukesh sir, and you have had a lot of learnings then. Can I hear from you onto the chat box? Pema said lack of patience. Okay, there is somebody also which said the startup is really challenging. Okay, the right market, finding the right target group or so. All right. See, this is what it happens to people who are watching us live on YouTube. If I ask you to put down the list of challenges, you guys are going to face in your entrepreneurial journey ahead, you might not be able to do that because you haven't experienced it yet. But you can only be able to, visualize the challenges that you can, I would say, that you can particularly see in front of you. So somebody has written here is finances, resources, financial resources, uniqueness and survivability, business modeling, and all of that. What if I tell you that Lemon School of Entrepreneurship, with its, 8 years of experience functioning in this space, can actually help you getting introduced to all of these challenges and helping you developing, I would say, a skill set around it. So I'll help you solving 20-30% of the problem here only. I'm going to give you a list of challenges that you guys are probably going to face, in your entrepreneurial journeys ahead. But for a structured set of learning, for learning through the experiences of, rest of the entrepreneurs, we kind of introduce this entrepreneurship skill development program to you. This is an 8 weeks long program to build the entrepreneurial skills in you. And this is ultimately for accelerating your entrepreneurial journey. So we say that, at Lemon School of Entrepreneurship, that what you guys are going to do in 3 years through Lemon School of Entrepreneurship, you probably might be able to do that in a year or so. So that's how we kind of help you. And that's what this program also means to you. What are we going to do in this program? I'll quickly help you understanding that. This is an 8 weeks long structured online program having 36 hours of live sessions, right? So like we are kind of interacting here. These live sessions are very much, interactive, because here you sit with video on and, you answers a lot of questions on audio. You will also be getting approximately 100 pages of learning material on entrepreneurship, which is our own proprietary material. Then 10 hours of learning video content, again on entrepreneurship, right? You will also be awarded a certificate by Lemon Ideas or Lemon School of Entrepreneurship for the completion of this program. And there are a couple of other rewards too, right? Top 3 participants of this program will get access to the top 100 of Innopreneurs, the top 100 of the next Innopreneurs. And The selected teams, few of the selected teams from this program particularly will get the access to our investment demo days as well. So we do conduct a lot of demo days. You guys can visit our social media handles and check that out. Recently, we had done a lot of demo days, a lot of one-on-one meetings with the selected startups. So few of the selected or the top teams will get an access to those demo days as well for raising the funds and, getting the connects of the funding agencies or VCs or so. Few of the identified participants would also be given access to the entrepreneurs in residence opportunity. This is the wonderful opportunity. I personally have been a part of it. I took an entry, in Lemon through EIR route only, and you can track me on LinkedIn. You can get connected with me, and you can see. I mean, there are a lot of people who have been in this program, entrepreneurs in residence program, and they have been doing phenomenally well. And then there are certain sort of internships opportunity also, wherein you get a chance to work with the key mentors or key stakeholders at Lemon Ideas. These opportunities will also be extended to few of the identified participants, right? Then there is one of the programs that we recently launched, which is our community initiative. And, approximately 3 identified participants or entrepreneurs will get the complimentary access to the CEDF program. There is a member fee involved, but this membership fee will not be charged if you're coming through this route, right? So there is a membership fee which everybody is paying, but here we are allocating specifically 3 slots for, rewarding these participants with 3 of the honorary seats for this exclusive community that we are creating. So this community is actually limited to around, 50 to 80 seats as of now. Then there will be the inter-country collaboration, right? So Lemon, as of now, have presence to almost 10 countries, and we are expecting this program, like the enrollments of this program to be from these multi-countries, so that you get the inter-country collaboration dimension as well. You get the international exposure as well, right? What are we specifically going to do in this program? So this is what the interventions journey mapping is. I told you I'll sort 20-30% of the problem for you right straight away in this session, and here it is. You can actually screenshot this slide and keep this as you have the list of the challenges marked, already on your screens. So we'll be doing, first of all, we'll be doing the orientation of the program, then the introduction to entrepreneurship, that what entrepreneurship actually is, right? We'll be also be talking about what do we need, what do you actually need to become an entrepreneur, what kind of traits, what kind of attributes do you need? If you have that, well and good. If you do not have that, can you search a co-founder for that? The co-founder matching at all, right? Your goal setting as an entrepreneur, your priority setting as an entrepreneur, right? Because a lot of times we actually cannot set the priorities that, okay, this is what is important for me right now. I'll do this, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do that. And we get stuck up in a situation where we cannot be able to do anything, right? Then the creativity and problem solving, the idea generation. If you do not have any idea, if you already have the idea, you will get sure out of it that, okay, is this the thing that I wanted to pursue, that I wanted to build it big, or is this the thing that I wanted to particularly solve? You will also understand the ecosystem. There is a session on digital armory and digital marketing for, taking your venture through this digital route. There will be a session on new venture planning, entrepreneurial challenges, the conflict resolution. This is one of the part, in anybody's entrepreneurial journey, which is becoming a salesman. A lot of people are afraid of it. So there is a specific session related to sales, specific session related to presentation skills and pitching, specific session for protecting your intellectual property, right? And then there would be few of the Ask Me Anything sessions with the Lemon experts. And then there is a session around mindful entrepreneurship and sustainable development goals by UN, right? There are a couple of other, kind of add-ons to it that we have added into this program. That is, that you'll get a chance to interact with the successful entrepreneurs, those who have already created something, concrete. There will be certain sort of groups of mentoring sessions with the mentors, some of the panel discussions with experts, investors, and seasoned entrepreneurs. And at the end, we'll have your pitching in front of a jury panel member, right? So you'll go through all of these interventions, and then at the end, you will pitch your idea, and then Lemon would actually help you getting connected, here and there, and whatever is needed for taking your journey forward. Here is the structure for this program. This is a 8 weeks long program, as I've already told you. The commencement date for this program is 6th of June 2022, which is Monday. This program particularly ends on 30th of July, right? The registration for this program is opening on 1st of May. It closes on 15th of May, and the investment that you need to do for this program is 99 US dollars, or the equivalent to Indian rupee, which is 7525, in Indian currency, inclusive of taxes and everything. But here is a catch: there are only a limited seats. At Lemon, we kind of follow, a very exclusive kind of pedagogy. We do not believe in doing sessions at mass. We believe in, taking only the entrepreneurs that we can help, right? So, that's why we kind of, the process here at Lemon is that you fill an interest form, your candidature is being reviewed, and then you are being offered, the seat for the program. So the lead mentors for this program will be Mr. Deepak Menaria, who's the founder and CEO of Lemon, along with Mr. Mukesh Asher, whom you have just interacted, who's the chief mentor and director at Lemon School of Entrepreneurship. And there are a couple of other mentors too, but these two are the lead mentors. The ones that I was actually saying, of you to interact with the successful entrepreneurs or our alumni, you'll get a chance to interact with the founder of HESA. So HESA Technology recently raised, close to $1 million, in funds from one of the leading investors in India. And they are now planning to raise another $10 million round, in the coming 6 to 8 months. You'll get a chance to directly interact with Vamsi, that how he has created, a rural commerce model. Then Mr. Ravi, Mr. Ravi Kumar, who is the co-founder and CEO of Urchalo, he has created a very decent model which actually targets a very niche market. He hasn't raised fund yet, but they are doing really, really good in revenues, having a 300 people team based out in Pune in India. We'll get a chance to interact with Ravi Kumar as well. Mr. Rikesh Gurung from, from Bhutan. A lot of you who are from Bhutan might already be knowing him. He has created a very, altogether a very different model for sustainable business. And there are a couple of others alumni also. You'll get a chance to interact with them as well. For applying for particularly to this program, what I would want you all to do is, if you have any sort of if you wanted to apply for this program that we've just announced, what you need to do is you need to fill the form that is in your chat box for marking your interest, right? So there is a detailed form of, onto the chat box. Please go there, fill it up, because this form the link to this form will go invalid after 10 minutes. Right, so this form is specifically for capturing interest for the people who are in this, Zoom room only, right? For others, there will be a separate form, but for the people who are in the Zoom room, they can actually fill this interest form, which is in the chat box right now. If you have any queries, we can take it in the Q&A, right? I'll open this session for Q&A now. Do fill up that interest form. We'll wait here for a minute more, and then we'll move ahead for the Q&A part. Saurabh sir, over to you.
Thank you, Krishnakant, and thank you very much. I think you enlightened people how to go and get into the cohort. So this is the first cohort of LSE being launched this year, and we are looking for a lot of exciting things to happen in this cohort. And so do share your interest. Then we will see how we can include you in this cohort and take you on the journey with our mentors. 2 of them are already sitting here. We have both the mentors here who will be the lead mentors for this program. So I open this for the Q&A. Anybody who wants to ask a question, just raise your hand. I'll unmute you, and then you can ask the question from your end. Anything around all the topics which we covered today in the session about the program, whatever is coming in your mind, do share, since we are a very limited people, so we can take it over voice. We need not go to the chat box route. So Deepak, first question which has come to me, my personal chat is, they want to understand the concept of learning through mentoring. How does it help?
Yeah, so I think thank you, Saurabh. Thank you, Krish. Thank you, Mukesh Bhai, for your very wonderful session and interaction. So yes, see, the whole idea is learning from others' mistakes. So this is something which I have always been saying, that as an entrepreneur, if we are smart enough, let's not reinvent the wheel again. So if some work has been done in the past, if some mistakes have been committed in the past, let's learn from the people who have gone through that path, and let's commit some new mistakes. Let's not waste our time committing those mistakes which are very common, which are usually encountered by people, and they end up losing a lot of time, energy, resources. So mentoring is a great way where you meet people who have traveled this path in the past, who have some experiences, some wisdom, some maturity to put the right perspective in front of you. It's not about advising you. No, it's not at all advising you. It's more about putting the right perspective in front of you, and then you have to take the best decision. So don't depend on anyone to give you a solution, or give you a printed path that, okay, from here you take left, then to travel 100 meters, then take right, then go northwest, then go southwest. No, I think the path will have to be discovered by you as an entrepreneur, but there could be opportunities to accelerate your journey, to navigate your path in such a way that you learn from others' experience, wisdom, and you get help to chalk out your own journey forward. So in the whole process, there is learning, there is possibilities to collaborate, there is learning from your own challenges, failures, learning from other stories, others' experiences. So all that, I think, is finally helpful. And at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is about experiencing it. It's about just do it. There's no way that you can just keep reading and preparing yourself without doing it. So you have to jump into the water, and I'm sure mentors at Lemon would help you jump into the water and start learn swimming and your survival skills, and not just sit outside the pool or outside the pond. Just keep procrastinating your journey. Just keep yourself imagining as an entrepreneur. No, you have to be in the water. So that's my take on this, Saurabh. And we can take few questions and few challenges which people have. I've also put it in the chat box, so maybe you can pick up them also, Saurabh.
Yeah, I think we have another question from Mr. Amit. He's wanting to know that, talking about the risk, one should need to have a backup or not, or one should put everything on one has. So I think he's slightly confused on the risk part of it. Deepak, your reactions?
Yeah, so I think this is a very, very genuine question, Amit. I must appreciate you, because a lot of times there is always a debate. A lot of times you are told to take risks. At the same time, you are told to take calculated risks, which is, do you have a plan B? People ask you plan B. So my take here is, don't take a blind risk. That's number one. And even if you do not have a plan B right now, it is good. The moment you have plan B, you won't put your life into plan A. Because at the back of your mind, you will always know, oh, I have a fallback. The moment you have a fallback, I think something will stop you, something will prevent you, something will stop you to put 100% into it. So let's not take blind risk. There has to be some kind of a rationale behind your step that you want to take, behind the entrepreneurial journey. There has to be some rationale, some logical. It may not be really logical, but it has to be some rationale. It could come by your intuition. it could come by some logical reasoning, it could be more analytical, or it could be purely arithmetic. It's fine. But whatever rationale you have, let's make sure that it's not a blind belief. And this is where we would want entrepreneurs to follow the 6E pedagogy. We do talk about the 6E pedagogy at Lemon, where it's about exploring ideas, exploring your own self, then taking it to your experimentation, pick up something, experiment, date, pilot it out. From there, you take it to learning from experiment. Have you done the validation? Then it's time to execute. So this is the stage where you commit yourself fully, where you commit your entire resources, you commit your life into it. But it's not a blind commitment now, because you have done some work to make sure that you are marrying the right idea for you. So that's how I would say I'll comment upon this. If there's something more, Mukesh, you would want to add, I would request him.
No, as rightly said by Deepak ji, it's not the question that you have to put everything into it. I use the word very meticulously. It needs to be calculated. You need to decide how much you need now. Probably you put it everything now. You might not have later on to add anything into it when you really need it. So you need to decide your journey and allocate the available funds into it. And of course, for the gray days, you need to have something to survive also. So it's always a calculated risk we talk about. It's not putting everything into it. As simple.
Yeah, any more questions which somebody wants to ask? I know we are at the say at 6 p.m. in India as per the program. We are here for 4 to 6, but if still somebody questions are there, we can take on, we can extend it for say 5-10 minutes.
I think, Saurabh, you can pick up the challenges which people mentioned in the chat box a while ago.
I think Amit Kumar has raised his hand. I'll unmute him.
Thank you, sir. I have another query. I'm planning to have an organic farm at my home country, so I'm from Nepal, and I'm in dilemma that I will, if I opt for organic things, if organic vegetables, organic fruits, then I'm in dilemma that whether people will opt for that or not in my local market, because here much people go for the price rather than the quality. So I'm into so much dilemma about that.
Yeah, so Amit, this is a very common dilemma that you have an urge, you have some kind of a passion to do something, but you are not sure whether this passion or this urge can become a viable business proposition. So your question is exactly, can my urge or can my specific interest become a viable business for me? If that becomes, then you win on both the front. You do what you love, you follow your passion, at the same time you earn your livelihood, at the same time you create wealth. But is this the right fit for you? That I think needs to go through a bit of more systematic analysis, because as you just mentioned, that you are not sure whether people would want it or people would not mind it. Yeah, that's a big question, and that is where we say, before you start, before you commercially launch anything, before you finally commit yourself, you have to have some kind of a validation. And this is where I refer to the first two E's: explore and experimentation. So there has to be some methodical process and systematic analysis and validation cycle of your problem and then your solution. So the moment you first validate your problem and then you validate your solution, the moment you do this, then your confidence is high that yes, you have some kind of some reasons to believe that there will be a monetization possible. People will pay for it and you will be able to make it a viable business proposition. But unless that happens, I would strongly recommend not to launch or not to commercially invest too much into it. Let's first invest, let's put some small resources, let's try it out, let's experiment, let's follow a systematic validation path that we normally talk about at Lemon. So I'm sure those kind of learnings through this program at Lemon School will also help you mitigate your. This is about taking a calculated risk. You are not taking a blind risk. You are taking a calculated risk because you are using some kind of a systematic tools and processes from an organization like Lemon School, and then you are finalizing your plan, and then you are committing your big chunk of resources and funds into it. So with a small little of investment, if you can validate your game for a bigger investment, if your failures rate can go high, if your survival rate can go high, your failure rate can go down and your survival rate can go high, I think that's worth putting the small investment in your validation, in experimentation, and in this learning journey. So that's my take to Amit.
Yeah. So Deepak, there was a comment by Zenat. She is an engineer by study and now a project manager in Bangladesh, and she likes her job, but she aspires to be an entrepreneur in a few years, but have no idea almost on how to initiate. And she would love to have some ideas from today's meeting. She's here, and what would be your take?
Yeah, so I think Zina, this is a great thought process. I must compliment you. You already have a job. You are kind of well settled. You have a good livelihood with your hand. So use your job to prepare yourself in terms of your risk-taking appetite. While you are in job, set up your goals. That okay, while I'm in a job for next 1 year, for example, I would do 1, 2, 3 things so that I'm prepared for my entrepreneurial journey. You have to somewhere decide a date, because leaving a job and going for an entrepreneur is very tough, because you have tasted the fun, the joy of getting a salary credit in your bank account every 30th of the month. And that joy will go away for some time when you jump into an entrepreneurial path. And living or imagine yourself without this joy is going to be tough. So you have to mentally prepare yourself that, okay, if I have to start, I'll start on X date. Until this time, I'll acquire some skills on entrepreneurship. I'll build up my mindset. I'll get oriented. I'll also start identifying opportunities and then maybe identify which one will work. And you can use your time while you are working to do all this. You don't have to jump today. You can jump at a date where you have some more reasonable confidence in terms of your own skills, your own thought process, and some kind of an idea in your hand. So you can use this time. This kind of program are fantastic way to put some starting journey, to put some push to your starting of your journey. Plus, while you are in job, also use this time to create your own fund, your own bootstrap fund, which will be used when you start your own venture. So you are in a fantastic situation. Just put these 2, 3 things into your plan, and I'm sure you will find yourself much prepared and ready to jump at an appropriate time. Anything you want to add, Mukesh?
Okay. Fine.
So next thing, which again, I think it is similar. So we have one question from Doji, who is asking that the challenges which generally an entrepreneur faces, financial and resources.
Yeah.
So how do you get those?
Yeah.
Sorted
So
out?
I think financial, fine. Everybody wants money. There is no limit to what money one would need. So if you have 10, you would want 100. If you have 100, you would want 1,000. So that's something which will always be there. But yes, you need to bootstrap. You need to have the right kind of resources, right kind of network, right kind of people around you to support that kind of community like this. So once you have this community with you, once you have some people to support you, guide you, I think automatically your risk to some extent goes down. Next is finances. Yes, you'll have to bootstrap. You'll have to mobilize this initial resources to start your engine. Once your engine starts, start building some kind of a visible footprints of your journey. And after this, I'm sure there are many ways that you can raise money to scale up. We have been organizing a lot of demo days. We have a huge network of investors. We know what it makes to reach that stage where you can raise funds. So it takes time because you have to prepare your work to an extent where there are some visible evidences. There is something going on. It's not just a piece of imagination on a paper. So once we know that you are ready, yes, there are a lot of opportunities to raise money. There are opportunities to raise equity fund. You can raise debt funds, and there are a lot of things which you can do. So all these challenges are with everyone, and you must appreciate that people are able to find solutions. We have seen so many examples. I just met 2 startups a couple of days back who were part of the season 7 at Entrepreneurship. So have gone through our training and mentoring program, and almost they are closing their funding rounds. So within 3 months, they were able to raise the money which they wanted to raise. So I'm pretty confident if you have the right kind of pieces together, raising money will not be a problem. In fact, investors will chase you. If you have the right kind of a proposal, if you have the right kind of path, investors will chase you. Because I, as an investor, I have a problem that I am not able to get the right kind of a proposals where I want to invest, which suits my appetite, which suits my thought process alignment, and where I am keen to invest. So that's how it is.
So next question we have, Deepak, we have from Karma Tenzin. Sorry for the pronunciation. When we talk about mindfulness entrepreneurship, what will be the key role and responsibility we need to set up at a startup?
So I think this is pretty simple. You need not be working in a pure social sector, but you can always address the same problem in a mindful way. For example, in your day-to-day life, you could have some way of your life where you are more mindful about environment, ecology, paperless, plastic-free, recycling, reusing it. So these are the few most fundamental ways in which you could be more mindful for the world around you, even if you are not directly contributing towards environment or ecology or social impact. But whatever you do, but your process, your ways, your methods could be more mindful. And finally, it is about being mindful is you are aware of what you do, what you want to do, and you are aware of why you're doing it. So the moment you have those answers in terms of your own self-discovery and your larger purpose, your journey will be more mindful and you will have more joy and happiness to follow. So that's my take on mindfulness. I think maybe, Saurabh, we can just take one last question. Maybe.
Yeah, I think there's a last question. I think I'll request Mukesh ji to answer this. So the question is regarding the same thing again. How much one should keep reinvesting? Basically, you make some profit. So the question is to start up a newly made, how they should utilize their profit. They should invest in others or invest in the same. And if one should invest in the same, then till when? What is your take? So it is basically, I think Mukherjee is confused on investing the profits.
Okay, let me put it in a simple words. Right now, we are in the age of startup. Abhi agar we have started something of our own, I mean, you need to constantly keep on thinking about your own startup. The moment you start losing the interest in your startup and start looking at different startups, probably your startup will go for a toss. So till the time it becomes so big that you have an opportunity to create your own exit path, that is totally different thing. But right now we are thinking about making our startup a big venture. So whatever you want for your existence, keep it aside, use it. Rest all the money should go into your startup again and again and again so that it becomes big. Nobody else will come to make it big. You have to make it big. If you park your money outside for something else and you want somebody else to invest in your startup, probably that won't happen. Because if you ask me to invest, I'll keep on asking, okay, what about your earning? What are you doing out of it? If you said, I'm keeping my money aside and I want you to put the money inside my startup, sorry, I won't do it. Nobody on this earth will do it. So in initial stages, probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 years, till the startup becomes very big and you create your own exit path. Till the time, whatever you earn, spend whatever is necessary for you, but rest all money, because the moment you start going big, you will have bigger expenses. Then you have bigger marketing budgets. You need money for that. Where will that money come from? It will come from your profits that you have earned over the period of years. So probably my say is that if you lose focus, then your startup loses focus on you. Then there is no match in between.
Thank you, Mukeshji. Thank you. And I think we can have more such interactions when you join the course, and keep ironing out your problems. That's all from our end. Happy to be here. Happy to be connected to all of you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. All the best. Bye bye. Bye bye. God bless us all. Thank you.
Bye-bye.